Hello everyone and welcome to Lang Park, and this is the big one, the grand final between Souths and Wynnum Manly. That's an aerial shot. You can see what it's like from upstairs, but down here on the ground the atmosphere is electric as the build up for this tremendous match, and a huge crowd at Lang Park and lots of red and green out there.
Final at fullback, Colin Scott, Terry Butler, 3 tries last week, and Warren Green on the wings, Brett French and Gene Miles in the centres. The halves also going very well, Walsh and Dawes. Sean Johnston is locked forward, Seaton and Batiste the second rowers, and Zillman, Morris and Green make up the full complement. Full complement now. Spencer at fullback, Thompson and Chalice, the speed on the wings, Meninga and Belcher, what a job they've got. Harry and Sully are the halves, and 2 good halves. Alan Power playing lock forward. I thought Argyris might go in there, but Power is definitely playing lock forward. Tessman back in the side for his first A-grade final. Lumbie out of the second rower. Higgs and Grinky the props, and Billy Johnston the lock forward.
Billy Johnston, the little motor mechanic from Cunnamulla. A proud moment for him as he leads out the mighty Magpies. Rod Morris, the 32-year-old prop forward, who's a lay-down misère for the Australian Kangaroo side, leads out Wynnum Manly, the sentimental favourite for today's grand final.
This is it, the 1982 Brisbane Rugby League grand final. Gene Miles puts it high in the air to Ken Spencer down there to take it for Souths. Souths coming from the northern end of the ground. And this is it. This is the testing material. All he helps. This is Chalice. Chalice deciding to have a little bit of a run, but not for far. Got away from one tackle. Still going as a South swinger. Great run there by Chalice. Ball now. Southern suburbs to Bruce Harry, who's going to kick for touch. Can he find it? No. Warren Green's back there.
Well done.
The Wynnum Manly winger runs it up, but Chalice is there. Got it back to Walsh, however. Walsh across to Colin Scott. Colin Scott running backwards now as Belcher's out after him. He got away from Belcher.
Oh, yes!
Now here's the gap coming up. French up over the halfway mark. And the Butler, and Butler's away. Terry Butler will score. There's no doubt about it. And Wynnum get the first try of the match underneath the post.
Oh, look at the crowd, look at the crowd. And here it is. You'll see Scott come across. And Belcher had hold of him. Belcher grabs him now. And Scott gets away from him. There it goes, just long enough to start a forward movement. He gets the pass away, but it's the next pass that does it. It's the next pass that does it. French goes away. He's only got the fullback to beat. A bad position for the fullback. You can't do a thing about it. Terry Butler's got 30 metres to run, and there's no way in the world he wasn't going to score as soon as Scott got the ball out to French. It was a try, and here comes the kick. Over! 5-0.
There's another South's ball. Sully gets it across over there to Bruce Harry.
Oh,
now
yes.
There's the gap coming through nicely as Belcher away to Meninga. There's nothing wrong with him now as he gets over the quarter line, back inside this time to Chalice. Chalice over the top to Sully. Sully going to be pulled down 8 metres out.
Good football. Great football.
Ash Lumbie will be the dummy half to Sully. Harry. Can South do something here? Over the top, taken by Meninga.
Here he goes.
Meninga through the gap. He's up over the quarter way. He's pushing it wide left, right and centre. Ball rolling loose. Going to be taken by Green, but a penalty South.
Offside.
Coming up as dummy half to Brad Sully. Sully through the gap.
Yes.
He's away. Still going. Ash
Lumbie.
Lumbie. Lumbie going for the line.
That's the
Reaches
ball.
out.
No.
Try.
Yes. I thought Lumbie lost it from him. Watch the pass. Look at it. Just cuts him out, straightens up, goes infield, 2 hands to it. Lumbie's just going to run to the corner. The cover comes across at Scott. He's got him by the legs. He puts the ball out. Oh, from the front on, we'll be able to see it a lot better.
Get a good idea from here. The ball's now way to the left. Way to the left-hand side of the upright, so it remains. Wynnum Manly leading Souths by 5-3.
Hey, yes, I was watching that.
Warren Green coming up for the shot at goal. It's on the way. It is there. Straight as a gun barrel. Straight through the centre. And Wynnum Manly move away 7-3. Wynnum Manly holding their half-time lead of 7 points to 3 as South win this one. Hurry to Sully to Spencer. Then away to Meninga. Meninga straight ahead. He gets away from the tackle coming in from French. Still going as a big fellow onto the quarter line before he's going to be wrapped up. Johnston. Tessman. Lumbie. The second rower on the go again. Cuts back inside. Still going. Couldn't get it to Thompson, however.
Having a top game, Ash Lumbie.
Wynnum hanging on to their lead of 7-3. Sully picked up nicely this time by Alan Power. Got it back then to Belcher coming around. Meninga gets it away to Chalice. Chalice cuts back inside. Got it away this time to Belcher. Back to Meninga. Oh, he tried to get a one-handed pass to Chalice but lost it. Up to the quarter line, final tackle coming up. Belcher still going, he's only got Scott to beat. No one around, and final tackle. 7-3 the score, Wynnum leading. Just under 9 minutes remaining. Gene Miles, Walsh. Oh! That's it, French is in and it's over.
Oh, there it is. There it is, the green and red horde on the outer at Lang Park. What a day for Wynnum Manly. Have a look at them, will you? They have gone crazy. They have gone absolutely crazy. Brett French has scored the try. The dancing magpie on the outer is doing back somersaults. The perfect pass scores the try. Gene Miles, Brian Walsh. Walsh, the great game he's had. French, and once French has hit the ball, it's all over. Shut the gate. 2 tries, 10 points to 3. And all from unfortunately, from a mistake from Kenny Spencer. Warren Green, who's kicked 2 out of 2. Can he make it 3 out of 3?
On its way up there.
13 points, 12 points to 3. And here's the try once again from front on. You'll see the work that Walsh does. Here it goes. Quick hands was on. Gene Miles, watch Walsh. Dances, then away it goes. Once again, perfect football. The pass beating the man, and in the try goes. 12 points to 3. Wynnum Manly leading, back with the football.
Okay, well, that's just about wrapped it up now. Just under 7 minutes to go, and I perish to think what's going to happen at the end of the game, George. I've just about pulled the fence down here.
Well, I'm pleased I'm up here, and I'm pleased I haven't got to get home in a hurry. And I've got a red shirt on anyway. I better find a green hat or something.
Bullock is the dummy half. Bullock will send it across to Rod Morris. Morris almost through. Back to North. It's away.
Yes.
The halfback is in. Underneath the post.
Oh. Rodney Morris, and there's Des. Des is pretty happy now. He's pretty happy now. And 3 tries. That's tied it right up. DJ's clapping himself, getting congratulated from everybody, and obviously talking to 4BC at the moment. Look at Rod Morris. Rod Morris got the pass away to doors. Mark Zillman's congratulating him. And look at the crowd in the outer. The red and green streamers. Greens kicks over. 17 points to 3. It's worth looking at again from front on, because you'll see what Rod Morris does with the ball. Where's the front on replay? Watch Rod Morris. Terrific internationalist fella. Now he gets the ball to 2 hands, almost down on 1 knee, and away goes Dawes. Couldn't believe his good fortune. As I said, look at the grin. He can't stop smiling, and that he might well keep doing as well. Final seconds of the game, Billy Smith.
Counting it down with 7, 6, 5, and it's all over. Wynnum Manly are the 1982 Grand Final winners, have defeated Souths by 17 points to 3.
And there it is. Des Morris, the man on the sideline. What a happy boy. I'd say for Southern Suburbs, my player of the game, Ash Lumbey. Top game for the second rower, Ash Lumbey. Never stopped trying, scored their try, almost scored another one. There he is. And on the wing at the 5/8 position for Wynnum Manly, Brian Walsh. Walsh coming into his own, and what a great game. Rodney Morris being cheered from the field. So congratulations, Rodney.
Very proud day and happy day for the club. Ladies.
Wynnum Manly, and a great crowd out here at Lang Park under pretty warm conditions, ready for the big one this afternoon.
Well, people have said that they have the best club side seen running around Brisbane in the last 20 years, 25 years, and Well, it'd be a brave man to doubt that, because when they play together and they play well, Wynnum look an unbeatable side.
Probably about 70% of people out here today would be supporting Wynnum Manly. They've only won one grand final. That was a couple of years ago. They've been in the competition for 33 years. But if you have a look at Southern Suburbs, Mick, they've picked up, I think, something like 9 premiership wins. They're a lot older team, of course, a lot older club, but they've done pretty well just the same.
Yes, and they've been in the 4 of the last 5 grand finals.
The only Wynnum problem that they've had, of course, has been the bruised ribs of international centre Gene Miles. The state lock forward Bob Linder, Mick, one of the most exciting prospects in this state at the moment. He's resuming after a back injury, and no doubt he'll be a welcome addition to the ranks of Southern Suburbs today.
Run.
Okay, here's South coming from the northern end of the ground. The kick-off by Meninga, deep down into Wynnum Manly territory. It'll be taken back there by Brian Walsh, dropped it back behind him. Walsh up into the field of play. Walsh normally, well, he's played lock forward, he's played 5'8", he's played everything but front row. It is Eddie Muller. Green works the blind side to Lewis. Lewis got away beautifully over there. Cutting through is Warren Green. Green up over the halfway. Pulled down to the tackle by Peter Jackson. A dummy half, did all the score. And 8.5 minutes of the grand final gone by. Meninga gets it away to Belcher. Belcher up over the quarter line. Cuts back inside. He's still going. He's going for that line. Pulled down about a metre short of it.
Double movement. And that's a good decision from the referee. Wynnum will do that all afternoon.
Peter Dawes to Lewis on the blind side. Lewis holds it up. Now he accelerates. Here he goes. Back inside to Ian French. He's got some toe, this fellow. He's over the quarter line. He's going for the line. Jackson out after him. Gets it to Green. And there's the first try of the match. Warren Green in for the try after 10 minutes of play. Wynnum Manly score the first points of 4-0.
Oh, beautiful work from Wally Lewis. The magic of the man. Watch him. Here he goes. He moves with the ball and they just stand and watch him. He ran past Callaway like Callaway was a silent cop. And this Ian French stretching out beautifully. Knows the support is coming. Jackson can't get to him and does then. Green gets it. Beavers comes from the other wing to nail him, but far too late.
So it's Sully. Coming through is Gary Belcher. Belcher's away up over the quarter line. He's being chased by Lewis. Lewis ankle taps him, but he doesn't get him. French will get him. French pulls him down. 20 metres inside Wynnum Manly territory.
That was a good run from Belcher. He's one of the unsung young heroes of South. 7/8 of the crowd is Wynnum.
Here's a kick by Meninga. Let's have a look at it. It's there. I'm involved in the tackle. Gene Miles. Big Gino up over halfway. Still going. Oh, it's picked up beautifully this time by Green. Green back inside to David Green, and David Green will score underneath the post. Beautifully picked up there by Mel Green, the second rower.
What beautiful play by Wynnum Manly. I must admit, Big Gino took off, left 3 of them, drew in 4 of them actually, and that was beautifully picked up by the second rower. Belcher went for the intercept, and David Green, the hooker and captain, over under the post. Souths are just not at home, and some of those forwards, as Wynnum had the extra 2 points, should not be on the field.
South Mick have missed 17 tackles, Wynnum missing 6. To play it, Muller the dummy half. Sully. Back inside to Callaway. Callaway striding up the centre, still going. He's up over the quarter. Only has the full back to beat. Walsh is hanging on to him. And Butler comes across. Lewis there to cut it off. Dummy half Meninga. Kicked away. And it's a Wynnum ball. South lose their chance. So close to the line. Dummy half David Green. Wynnum roaring up again. Played forward by Dowling and a try. Played it forward. Leant over. Put his hand on it and a try. He eventually does. This will show it very well. He's got Ash Lumbie in front of Samarco. Well, he's only half up. He just towed it forward, leaned across, put the big hand on it, said, thank you very much, I'll have 4 points. So Wynnum streaking away to a lead of 14-2. It's now 16-2. And 3.5 minutes to the half-time break.
Against a man out there this afternoon. Halverson will remember this game.
David Green floating it, Dowling kicking it across field. It's still okay. Brian Walsh will pick it up, and this will be a gift try. Walsh in for an absolute gift of a try. David Green, dummy half. Lewis. Miles. Miles over to to French. This is trouble. Over the halfway. Terry Butler outside. Beavers has a go. Now to Butler. Butler's on his own. He cuts back inside. He's looking for support. French is back onto his feet, and French is going to score in the corner. I thought it was French first up, and I thought it couldn't be. He'd been knocked to the ground, but that'll give you an idea of how much time Butler had to go, because there's French, and he's well and truly put to the ground in the tackle. So Butler says, I'll have a bit of a run now. Gary Belcher said, where in the world are you going to go? Butler cuts back that way, and blow me down. Here's French on the way. Brett French powering across for the try. Lumpy dives at him at the end, but it's too late. It's all over. And Wynnum Manly in for another one and have a lead of 24 points to 2. I'm amazed, Mick, that a player could be tackled, get up, and still score a try.
And he was well tackled too.
So Warren Green attempting to convert this one. He's failed, so the score at Lang Park remains. Wynnum leading by 24 points to 2. Still haven't got David Green down as yet. Now Dawes to Lewis. Lewis, the long one. Brian Walsh into the back line. Then away to Terry Butler. Butler back inside. This is Lewis. Lewis got away then to Miles, and Miles is in. Gene Miles in for another one. And the procession continues.
Great football, Wynnum Manly. Wally Lewis, the long one to that man Walsh. I told you he could play great football. Butler hardly touched his fingers and he shot it back inside to that man Wally. And there's Big Gino, who's been following Wall all this year.
And they're racking up a cricket score. It's 28 to 2.
Else not doing too much. There's Wayne Bennett. I wonder what thoughts are running through his mind. Self-destruction or some sort of Harry Cowrie, Bill?
Anyway, that's the way it goes. Here's a kick by Warren Green, is there, and that is rubbing it in. 30 points to 2, Wynnum Manly lead. And they're in all sorts of trouble, South Mick, when you have a look at them just on fitness-wise here.
But he's going to give his team a bit of a spell, and yes.
No, he's going to take the tap, puts his head down and dives for the line. Can he get it down? Yes, he can. He's got it down. That's a try. Wynnum in for another one. 34 points to 2.
Well, he wasn't giving it, as you see on the replay. Now, watch Green. He walks in and puts his hand up in the air, but he's not saying anything. A pretty good ploy, and then away he goes. 3 to 1, and South still can't hold him out.
Kick is going to be successful. Ball running into it is Bob Lindner. Ball roll loose. And it was Green able to stand up and get away then to Dawes. Dawes back inside to Lewis. Lewis crashing through, and here's another one. Lewis over underneath the post. And Wynnum Manly hit the 40 points.
There that would just open up.
We might get a... There's the kick converted. So it's 42 to 2. Souths have missed 34 tackles. And that's a conservative estimate. As opposed to Wynnum Manly's 12. The scoreboard says it all.
And I think if you've been watching the game all afternoon, you would know that positional play was non-existent by the South players, and they didn't want to tackle anybody.
That's Bob Lindner putting a little kick. Is this going to be South's try? There's 2.5 minutes remaining. Lindner pulled down short of the line. He can't get over. Getting up to play at final tackle. So back to Bruce Harry. Harry a big long one. Ash Lumbie takes it. He gets it around the corner to Meninga. Meninga gets it away to Abbott. Abbott's going for the line. Tackled by Walsh, but he's in for the try. So South getting in with 1 minute and 42 remaining in the match.
As you'll see on the replay, ball is thrown long and wide. Ash Lumbie to Big Mal. Mal throws a wild one over the top. I tell you what, Abbott did. He nearly put that one down too, and there wasn't anybody around.
Attempting to convert. He's spot on line. Beautiful kick from the touchline. Makes it 42 points to 8. 10 metres out from his own line. Crowd starting to pour onto the field already. It hasn't finished, but it's all over now, and that's it. Wynnum Manly convincing winners of the 1984 Grand Final. They've taken it out by 42 points to 8. And somewhere out there, Michael, is our man of the match to receive $200 worth of Canterbury gear.
Well done, Brian Walsh. There he is.
Well, he's there somewhere, Mick.
Yes,
Kids everywhere. There he is. You can see him over the back there with number 1 jersey on. Brian Walsh is our man of the match. $200 worth of Canterbury gear and the System 21 stereo from NEC.
Well,
welcome everyone to the climax of the Brisbane Rugby League season, the 1986 grand final between Wynnum Manly and Brothers. There's no doubt that Wynnum Manly are hot favourites, but David, will complacency be a problem for the Seagulls?
Well, I doubt it very much. I think the fact that they lost the 85 grand final when they were also red hot favourites to South, that will really be something that will spur them on. They've been hurting for 12 months, Wynnum Manly. Captain coach Wally Lewis, first year that he's been captain coach, and of course this should be the last game that these players will put together.
Well, Warren, I'm sure the officials are delighted with the crowd here at Lang Park. Estimates that the crowd wouldn't reach 20,000 have been proven wrong.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 1986 grand final of the Winfield Cup, the biggest day in the Brisbane Rugby League calendar. 9 teams have given their all in the search for Rugby League's ultimate prize.
There's the Brothers team coming out onto the field now, and they look very serious. There's the Brothers team, Moore at fullback, the young fellow, O'Brien and Burns on the wing. Late replacement yesterday. What a shame for Brothers. Joe Kilroy can't take the field, but the experienced Johnny Tapp comes on to partner Robert Gregan in the centres. The halves, Gill and Greg Smith, and in the forward pack, Staines, McElwain, Gary Smith, Baumba, Bailey and Carter. The coach, Ross Broderick. The Boos, captain coach of Wynnum Manly, captain of Australia, Wally Lewis. Look fair dinkum, as does the remainder of the side. Peter Dawes running out there too. Have a look at that, the Wynnum Manly side. What a side it is. Probably the last time we'll see them together. Colin Scott at fullback, Scott Lewis and Scott Nichols on the wings, Naylor and Miles in the centres, Lewis at 5'8", Dawes with the injury to his arm, lining up once again, not 100% fit. Lindner, French Green, Jenner, Ferrugia and Dowling. What a football team it is. Capable of beating any side in Australia, any club side in Australia. They've been equal of anything in Sydney, but they still got to produce it on the day. There's Wally Lewis. He realises the disappointment of last year. They were red-hot favourites last year too, when they came up against the Magpies, who had Mal Meninga, Belcher, Elias, and certainly there was plenty of pressure on them then. There's more pressure this year.
Wally Lewis had a very angry look on his face as he came out, very determined, Lewis. And there's the kick-off for the 1986 Rugby League Grand Final. Lewis putting it down into the in-goal. Burns has to reach high to gather. Now running it up to meet the Wynnum defence. In they swarm. Jenner there with Ferrugia. Referee keeping a close eye on it. Dowling takes a mark. Oh, strong tackle from Carter. Bang, he goes into Dowling.
Crowd appreciating it too. Mistakes inside their own territory. Penalty.
Penalty inside the 5. The Brothers' backs, Gill in particular, coming up too quickly. Should be able to hit this one over. It's at low, but it's through the post. So first points on the board for Wynnum Manly. They lead 2-0 after 7 minutes. Lindner close to the ruck.
Getting to offside again. And he's right too. Brothers have been coming out very quickly. Be interesting to see here whether Scotty has a shot for goal.
30 metres out. It's this one well. And 2 more points. So Wynnum skip away to an early 4-0 lead on the back of the penalties. Ferrugia, Lewis in their working play. Good pass to Dowling, but he's knocked it on. And Dowling would have had the momentum probably to crack that line.
Yeah, I think.
Greg Smith. Cut out pass for Grogan in the gap. Comes to Lewis. Bounces away from him, but Lewis made the tackle. Wynnum is thin out wide. Gill holds up the puck, goes himself. Straight through, race Peter Gill. First try to Brothers. And evens up the score, 4-all.
What a great try from Peter Gill. We saw him have a terrific game last week. The supporters have gone crazy. So have the Brothers team. Well, let's have a look. Brothers had Wynnum Manly in trouble out here on this left-hand side. You can see how thin the Wynnum Manly defence is. Greg Smith fires the ball to Gill. The dummy, the step, Naylor went the wrong way. So did Gene Miles. The second step, straighten up. Go for the line, son. Wally Lewis can't stop him.
And the flags are up, so Brothers hit the lead, 6 points to 4, 15 minutes remaining in the first half. David, as you said, suicidal. Brothers, Wynnum is still trying to throw the ball wide, even when the Brothers are up quickly.
Here's a good scrum, this one. Look at the push there from both. That's a good effort from Brothers. Both hookers with the feet wrapped around the ball, and it was the Brothers scrum that won the day against the head.
No reaction there. Smith, Gill, Grogan, again, goes wide, tap. Pops a beautiful pass for Moore. Moore heading for the try line. Desperate defence holds him 1 metre short. Should be 6 more. Long pass to Dowling. Miles throws a little dummy. Back inside, beautifully handled by Lindner. Back inside, the ball's gone loose, but it's play on. Naylor knocks on. Play on through the referee. Burns picks Picks it up for Brothers. Burns sets sail for the try line. Chased by Mel Green. Has support inside. Gets the pass. Is knocked down by Green. It's play on. Tap dives on it. Tries to throw it back. Still picked up again by O'Brien. Over the touchline. Dramatic end to the first half. And that's the break. Burns. Good tackle from Miles. And he's lost the ball. Linda picks it up. Linda racing for the try line. Linda's over. But he's called it back. Lewis clasped his hands around his head.
There it is. There's Burns going into the tackle. Well, look at Linda come over the top. Good cover defence from Linda. He has tackled well out wide, and they thump him into the ground. To all intents and purposes, the ball went free, I would think. Let's have a look at it. Burns is hurt in that tackle. The ball comes out the back, and Bob Linda goes to pick it up. Eddie Ward is not in a position really to see exactly what happened in that tackle. Certainly Linda didn't steal the ball. It was there lying on the ground. Should have been a fair try.
Dowling, little dummy, and then up the middle. Can't handle the pass.
Yes, he was held back.
Hits it, and it's straight between the posts. The flags are up. The score's 6-all. Midway through the second half. 20 minutes to go.
There's Strudwick on the bench, looking concerned. He knows Wynnum Manly are in that try-scoring position.
Lewis to French. French away from the tackle of Bournemouth. French for the line, slips it back inside. Lewis onto it. Play on. Lewis for the line. Lewis stretches out. It's a try. It's a try to Wynnum Manly. Wally Lewis reaching out over the line. It takes them to the lead, 10 points to 6.
Well, the Emperor's done it. I don't know how he did it. We'll have to see it on replay to see how he got that ball down. What a magnificent effort from Wally Lewis. A solo. He's been knocked down by one of his own players there as they come in to congratulate him. Took one right on the nose. But I don't think he's hurting too much at the moment because he just put his team in front. And it took some pretty concerted attack there from Wynnum Manly. Look at the two of them work in tandem here. Wally Lewis, Ian French. Look at this fella run the football. Brushes out of one. Looked like he'd go all the way. Then a desperation pass in behind him. Lewis still in backup position. Looked for support. Said, no, I've got to do it myself. Stretches out through one. Reaches out right on the try line. Got it down. Yes, what a super effort from Wally Lewis to get that one down.
The most difficult of the lot. And he's pushed it away to the right. So the score remains Wynnum Manly 10, Brothers 6.
They've got a 4-point advantage at the moment. I think he wants to play it down this end of the park.
Switches it across to Jenner. Jenner in the gap. Back inside for Scott Lewis. Leaves it behind. On it goes to Mal Green. Slips it to Attell. Attell for the try line in the corner. And it's a try. Well, that must be the winning of the grand final with only 5.5 minutes to go. Wynnum Manly leading by 14 points to 6.
14 points to 6 is their lead. Very difficult for Brothers with only about 5.5 minutes to go. Look at it from behind as Wynnum Manly change the point of attack. Brothers defence going one way. Lewis says, hang on, we're going back the other way, fellas. Fires the ball back on the outside. Jenner had been put into a bit of a hole here as Brothers started to lose their straight line of defence as Scott Lewis came back on the inside. The ball went onto the ground. Just a little bit of luck here for Wynnum Manly. The ball just gets flicked up almost there. Mal Green, what a brilliant pick-up that one was though. And then through the line of defence, fired the ball out to Bill Attell, and he goes across in the corner for Wynnum Manly and the 1986 Wynnum Manly Grand Final. Wally Lewis.
Wally Lewis is going to take the conversion attempt, only half a metre in from touch. Hits it well, just swings away from the post. It was headed towards that right-hand upright. So the score remains Wynnum Manly 14, Brothers 6, 8 points in it with 5 minutes to go. Still tackling, courageous performance from them. Lewis, and that's full time. Wynnum Manly have won the 1986 Grand Final by 14 points to 6, defeating Brothers. What a performance from both sides, a fitting end to the season. Both teams have given it everything they possibly could. The class of Wynnum Manly finally winning out.
He's the captain, the coach. He's also the try scorer. He set up or scored the try that put Wynnum Manly in front, and of course he dictated the whole play. Great effort from Lewis.
Eastern Suburbs, led out by Graham Strutton. They've made grand finals 4 of the last 5 years, semi-finalists last year, but in the big one in 95, the backs, Duncan, Glyde, Baker, Strutton, Turner, Cairns and Lewis. The forward pack, Manns, Nielsen, Evans, Cesarago, Williams and Greenhill, and amongst others on the bench, David Smith. And the Wynnum Seagulls, led out by Ricky Taylor. Their last grand final win was 1986. The back line, Chapman, Filewood, Taylor, Street, Olszewski, Weyer, Predel, and the forward pack, Batten, Larson, Hassan, Marr, Rackerman and Lawton. Wynnum have won the toss, electing to run with a slight breeze in the first half. Travis Baker gets the match underway. The Brisbane Rugby League dating back to 1909. A long-running competition, 1995. It's Easts and Wynnum, and what a big occasion it is. Tremendous grand final atmosphere as Hassan goes in amongst the East forwards.
Edges up to 35 metres out. Predel lets one go, picks up Anthony Batten. Batten pops up there, Strutton's got an intercept. Graham Strutton, is he fast enough? Those experienced legs just outpacing the fence. David Chapman won't be early enough. Strutton's in. The skipper, the experience, Graham Strutton, just threw a hand out, intercepted the ball, popped it up. Batten, I think it was, who tried the pass, and Strutton had just got in between, and the Tigers have had the start they were looking for. Mark Cesarago moves in to try and convert the first try, hits it beautifully, right down the middle. Cesarago adds the extras, 6-0 the Tigers after only 6 minutes. And then fires it up to Tony Batten, he almost dummied a kick. Wynnum Manly seemed to be fiddling, and here's a penalty though for the Seagulls. Inside the 10 metres, the Tigers.
That's it, 19 metres out. He's headed pretty well. Is it going to stay on line? Yes, it is. Flags are up. Wynnum put their first points on the board. They trail East by 6 points to 2. 14 minutes gone.
A chance out here if they want to run it.
Fifth tackle. East are short. Only 3 men on this side of the post. Weyer to Predel. Throws a dummy. Taylor's loose. Taylor now with the ball. Gives it away and Lawton's over for the try, I think. Wynnum are in. Wynnum have scored a try that's been coming for a couple of minutes.
Plenty of time though for Andrew Duncan.
Wynnum player taken out off the ball.
Let's see play that from East.
It was field now. Olszewski moves into it. Good shot at it. And the flags are up once more. Wynnum poked their noses in front in this grand final. 12 minutes before half-time. It's the Seagulls leading the Tigers 8-6 with Wests. Williams up the blind side, a chance. Here's Jenkins rolled over the line he goes. That's a try, and Wynnum's defence went to sleep on the blind side. Very soft try, considering the intensity of the game so far. Gaps.
Short on the right, the Tigers.
Predel tries to get it around them. Batten to Hassan. They've got the numbers. Chapman goes himself and he gets there.
Just as well he did because he had support out wide and Olszewski but elected to go himself.
Dead right, David. We've already seen Wynnum fail to get over the line once when Hassan went himself earlier. This time Chapman, a former Balmain teammate of Hassan's, has gone himself. Reeves might assist him here a little, might bring it back. It's coming through the posts. Yes, it's a great kick. It's a superb kick from out wide by Olszewski. Every point's going to count today. Wynnum lead East 14 points to 10.
Glyde.
Important tackle by Glyde on his old teammate.
Jason Pennell dashes up the blind side, no one at home. Cover defence coming across from Greenhill. Pops it back on the inside to Greg Street. Tries to get away then from Strutton, does. Back to Jason Pennell. They've run out of numbers. And I've nearly run out of my voice.
Oh, what a diving tackle from Heath Lewis. He stopped that try.
Whitfield scoring a try here. Ricky Taylor fires it out to Weyer. Weyer decides to run it himself. He's quick. Out then to Larson. He's over. The Seagulls have put on a try in the last minute of the first half. And what a try it was.
Close to the uprights. He pushes it through. Once again, he's kicking well. And the Wynnum fans are on their feet and roaring. It's 20 points to 10 at half-time.
Here's a chance here on the left if the Tigers can get it wide. Lewis fires the long ball out. There's Strutton, picks it up beautifully. Graham Strutton, his second on the bounce. Graham Strutton picked up the pass. It was not a particularly good one from, I think, Heath Lewis. And the Tigers bash their way over for a try by moving it quickly from a very good attacking raid. Here's Lewis. The pass, the idea was right. Bounces up to Strutton, just waited for it. Breaks away from Greg Street, and then close enough to go across. Chance now for the Seagulls to extend their lead. They lead at the moment 2014.
Well, Duncan flew for it, just is dislodged forward into Travis Baker's arms.
They've got 4 points from penalties already. Olszewski right in front. No mistake. Extra points on 22-14 with 28 minutes to go. That's the 5th tackle also.
Strutton and Smith both on the right.
Lewis decides a little chip kick this time. Coming forward is Chapman. Reads it well, gets the bounce. Lost the ball though, picked up by Strutton. Graham Strutton, number 3, on the spot. He scored an intercept try. He scored a try there from a loose ball and also from a break on the 6th tackle. So Graham Strutton, the skipper, has once again got the Tigers back into it.
So 1 from 3 from out wide. This is going to go close. Coming back, waved away. Tackle just short of halfway. Wire comes blindside. Hassan gives some room to Olszewski. He's chased by Glide. Got to get back inside. He's got Street inside him. He might need him. I thought he hit the post.
I thought he hit the post.
I thought he hit the post.
But it's going to be a try. It's going to be a try.
It's one hell of a run by Matt Olszewski. There it is. It was worked by Hassan as they worked this wide blind side. Olszewski just got on the outside of Glide. I thought Glide would go with him. Olszewski stayed in the field of play. They didn't touch the line. They come at him late here. Now, first of all, does he touch the corner post? Touch the line, I thought then. Touch the corner post.
Definitely no try. It should have been no try. He was out. He was in touch.
One of 3 occasions he's touched the sideline. Good work by Wynnum, nevertheless, here by Hassan to see a half chance and to put Olszewski on the outside of Glide. He has touched the line just as Glide came at him.
As this cover defence from Duncan, he puts his foot on the line. The line is out. I think he brushed the corner post also before he on the sideline. The breeze will take it away, but the lead is still substantial. 26-18. To score 2 with Wynnum fairly short. This time Williams, goes so close, he's over. No, Williams beside the post, that's too easy. The Seagulls have gone to sleep, and they've gone to sleep at the wrong time. With 9 minutes to go, the Tigers now with the try they needed.
From 4, his team needs this one. It's through. Only 2 points in the grand final now. Grandstand finish with 8 minutes to go. Wynnum leading East 26-24. Other end. Chapman called on to hit it up, and he makes the break himself out of another tackle. David Chapman all alone. Back up comes too late from Greg Street down the centre. Now it's the 5th tackle, 30 metres out. It goes to Taylor. Puts the kick into the corner. Firewood chasing through. What the bounce? Oh, it's there. It's there for Wynnum. Ricky Taylor collects his own kick. That's the grand final to Wynnum. Ricky Taylor dives on the ball. The try!
It was Chapman's break that did it, and then Ricky Taylor, the subsequent ruck, the tip over the top. They've attacked all year, they've continued to attack, and once again, the bouncing ball, Taylor dives on it, the elation. Matt Olszewski attempting to add the extras to put the seal on it. He's done it! What a kicking performance from Olszewski. That's an 8-point lead. That's the victory.
6 from 8 from Olszewski. 4 seconds left. East race back to halfway. It doesn't matter though. It's 32-24. The restart. The last tackle of the grand final taken by Taylor. It's all over. What an exciting game of football. Wynnum, magnificent, but East valiant in defeat. And that controversial try casting a bit of a shadow over the game when Olszewski hit the touchline and the corner post. In the end, the difference is 8 points. So maybe Wynnum deserved victory, but that was one hell of a grand final.
12 months ago, the Northern Raiders were the pride of the Queensland Cup by claiming the title in just their third year. In 2011, it will be a seagull, but of which breed? Will it be a swoop from the south, with Tweed Heads adding to their 2007 crown? Or can the bird of the Bayside end a 16-year drought and bring glory back to Wynnum Manly? Welcome to Lang Park for the 2011 Queensland Cup Grand Final between Tweed Heads and Wynnum Manly.
This is a very good outfit they put on the park, as you'd expect. Only lost 2 games this year. Ryan Milligan at fullback, very good player. Nathaniel Barnes and Tom Merritt on the wings. James Wood and Matt Hundy in the centres. In the halves, Matt King and Brad Davis will skip at the side. Very good forward pack. The number 13 and Cody Nelson. Ryan Simpkins, who was in some doubt with a hamstring injury, number 11. Selassie Birdie and number 12. And then up front, Aaron Cannings and Josh Starling. The hooker is Tim McCann.
Now, of course, here's the lineup for today. Wynnum Manly Seagulls. At fullback, it's Jake Granville. On the wings, it's Jason Moon and Sam Teo. In the centres, it's Shay Moylan and Matt Grieve. At 5'8", Reece Blaney. Matt Seamark is the halfback. Luke Dalziel-Don is the lock forward. In the second row, Tim Natush and Curtis Lingwadock. Dane Carla and Mitchell Dodds could be playing for the Broncos. Instead, they're playing for Wynnum Manly today. What a strength. And John Torrio is the hooker. The bench, Charlie Gubb, Ben Shea, John Grieve and Chris Birch.
Terrific turn up on the western side of the ground. Don't be fooled by our pictures pointing to the eastern stands that are empty, because those stands are not open today. A really good crowd in attendance, in particularly for the men from the Bayside, as Luke Dalziel-Don leads his team on to Lang Park. Wynnum Manly on the big stage for the first time since 1995. Their first Queensland Cup decider.
And there's Brad Davis.
And like any team from south of the border, getting the hoots as they run on to Lang Park.
Yes, it's almost like a recording, isn't it? That the Tweed Heads, part of the Queensland Cup, a great addition they've been. They have lifted the standard. They are very competitive every time they play. It's a good footy team. As we said, they've only dropped 2 games this year. And there's Brad Davis. He calls the shots.
We wait for the whistle. There it is. The Queensland Cup Grand Final is underway. And Granville takes the kick-off, and it will be Dane Carlo with the first hit-up of the day.
Field of play. McCann, he scored 2 tries last week. Tries to go. Oh, yes, he's done it again. He stole another one. Have a look at that clenching of the fist. He went hard first and got hammered, and then wouldn't go backwards. Decided to go to the unexpected, snuck down the blind side and got across strongly. What an effort by Tim McCann.
He was halfback in the 2007 Premiership team. Couldn't get a regular game earlier in the season, but now pitched in at hooker, finds the line for his 5th try of the season, and is one of that half a dozen Tweed Heads players who were here on the big day in 07, and what a great start for the men from south of the border. Tim McCann to convert the McCann try. Doesn't bring it back enough, but still the Seagulls from south of the border get the first points. Who makes the tackle there on Milligan, who was chiming in. Davis goes himself, throws a dummy and beats a tackle. He's got Nelson in support. Cody Nelson, has he got the pace? Yes! Second try for Tweed, created by the captain. And Cody Nelson next to the upright makes it 8-0.
One of the great things about good players is, and you hear it called a lot on the NRL, they play what they see in front of them. Davis had initially in mind to offload that ball. There's Cody Nelson getting a breather. But have a look at Davis, looks on the outside, realises the pass isn't on. Little dummy then goes between, just a little bit of relay. I like the way that Cody Nelson came back on this side of the pass to actually take the fullback out of play. And Cody Nelson, have a look at this will be a good angle. Little bit of a dummy, away he goes. Cody Nelson cuts back to the left, allows Davis to wrong position the fullback, and Cody Nelson under the sticks.
Make it 10-zip. No mistake from Davis. And Tweed get the jump in the 2011 decider.
Well, Brad Davis going all the way to the line here.
In fact, out. Wynnum Manly with the football, and they go for a play one. Grabber, and Granville's on the end of it to score the try. The referee wants another look. Seamark with the little kick, and Jake Granville on the end of it. A bold move on play one off the scrum win. It didn't Well, nothing looked wrong with it from here, Warren.
No, it's just a question of onside. And it looks good enough. I don't think they could rule no try on that angle to say that he was in front of the kicker. He was probably just onside.
Michael, that's a try.
Back on.
Try to Jake Granville as the timekeeper had his finger on the hooter for half-time. 10-6 it is, and that is half-time in the Queensland Cup Grand Final for 2011.
Last tackle. Blaney, little chip in this, going to hit the ground, and Cookie, yes, that's a try! That's a try! Seamark. Wow, what a kick, and how did the defenders not get to it first? I guess you've got to give credit to the precision of the kicking by Blaney. They weren't expecting the little chip into a little no man's land, and as soon as it hit the turf, well, it had a chance to go anywhere, and would you believe it, Wynnum Seagulls are going to hit the front.
I could not believe that he could get a play on this chip from Blaney that pitched in the in goal and sat up for little Matty Seamark. Your fans in the Western Stand about to cheer this home. Wynnum Manly lead the 2011 Queensland Cup Grand Final with 32 minutes to play. Find a big game. Seamark for Natouche, back for Granville. Little step from Blaney. Oh, Blaney just got him, but the pass is alive. Moylan receives it, stays alive, goes for the corner. Moylan scores the try. The could deliver Wynnum Manly a drought-breaking title.
Great passage of play. They backed themselves, Wynnum. Their expansive game this year, in the latter part of this year, has been something to behold. We had one idiot who'd run on the field there, and he's been banished. But great work. Moylan was the one who finally scored it, backed himself to score it. But the build-up on the inside, little run-stop play again. They've used this consistently. Natouche just pops it back to Granville. They stay deep. Blaney hits the accelerator. Selassie Birdie did well to grab him by the shorts. And then Moylan, a number of players tried to get a hold of him, but he's too strong. Shea Moylan, a very strong runner, and he just keeps powering on. Blaney tries to kick through. Good pass it was to hit Moylan, and then couldn't be taken by King. Cuts back on the outside.
No, not just then. Oh, there was only a few millimetres in it, but it's a 6-point ball game. And Grieve. And the Bayside is poised for a party. The pass from Davis finds Barnes down the left flank. He kicks ahead. Granville's there to meet it and run it into touch. I don't think they'll get the scrum away. Wynnum Manly are celebrating.
Why shouldn't they?
The game is over and the drought is broken.
What a fairy tale.
16 years in the making. Wynnum Manly are the Queensland Cup champions of 2011.
Well, they started the season with 6 losses. That's been well documented. At that stage, they were averaging 12.5 points a game. They've turned that around. Credit to the coach, credit to the players. They've come from 10-0 down in a grand final to score 16 straight points to win it. They came from 6th spot to beat the first team twice and win a grand final. That is as good a comeback as I can ever recall. And congratulations to all the Tweed boys. Well, they're shattered. They went through within 1 game of an undefeated premiership season, then stumbled at a couple of games and then just couldn't go on it. They've had a great season, the Tweed, and they are devastated.
Lucky 13, just their 13th win of the season, and it's a win to deliver them the silverware.
Yeah, great effort by, they never lost faith. Paul Green, who said it was dark days in those first 6 matches when they lost them all. He then stuck with Jake Granville, the #1 playing dummy half. It's worked a treat for him because Granville's so good out of there. Had a terrific game again, Granville, today.
If you're thinking of going out to Wynnum Manly in the next week or so, just ready yourself for some celebrations, because it will be celebrated long and hard by one of the most loyal group of fans who have waited a long time, Warren.
Grand final day has arrived. It is great to be with you. The grand final of the Intrust Super Cup. We're coming to you live from Suncorp Stadium this afternoon, right across the Widewater Sports Network. And as the Bayside rivals Redcliffe, the Dolphins taking on the Wynnum Manly Seagulls, the defending premiers this afternoon. It is going to be an absolute ripper. 1 versus 2, so just like it will be in the NRL next Sunday when Canterbury take on Melbourne this afternoon in the Intrust Super Cup. We've got 1 versus 2, the minor premiers Redcliffe against Wynnum Manly. And with me in commentary today again, Scotty Sattler, Ben Eichen. Build-up has been absolutely tremendous for this.
It's been a big week in Brisbane, Vossi. These are the 2 best teams across the regular season, the most well-supported, so there's going to be plenty of fans here.
Here's the Seagulls lineup, Ben.
And isn't it a ripping team? Sean Loxley's at fullback, on the wings Peter Gubb and Nat Barnes, in the centres Dan Wallace and Jason Moon. Jacob Fayou's the 5'8", Matt Seamark is the halfback, and in the front row Ben Shea, Jake Granville and Dane Carlaw. Mitchell Dodds and John Torrio. In the second row, Luke Delzildon is the captain and lock forward. On the bench, Matt Smith, Andrew Clayton, Charlie Gubb and Tim Natush. They're coached by Paul Green.
Let's have a look at their side.
And isn't there some speed in this side? The fullback Joe Bond, on the wings Delroy Berryman and Liam Georgetown. In the centres Marty Hatfield and Aaron Whitchurch. The 6 is Maurice Kennedy and Luke Catewell is number 7. The front row is Hancock and Isaac Armour. He is the skipper, and Tom Murphy comes off the bench to start in at hooker. Geese, Watkins, Sliney, and on the bench is Butterfield, Samoa, Ackerman and Ivan, and that coach is John Dixon.
And Wynnum Manly, 1 grand final under the statewide competition format for 1 victory last year. Winners over Tweed Heads. They won it 16-10 last year after trailing 10-0 early. Out come the sides to Suncorp Stadium. It's a good crowd on the western side of the ground. Redcliffe supporters probably outnumber Wynnum, but not by a great deal. Won the Intrust Super Cup. Over to the red and white of the Dolphins. Isaac Armour has the honour of leading them out in the absence of injured captain Chris Farrell. And we all know the controversy of that a fortnight ago. And we're underway, the Intrust Super Cup Grand Final. The 2 best sides, Redcliffe and Wynnum Manly. And it is Gubb with a first hit up. Peter Gubb from the wing.
Side of Seamark.
Now Murphy on to Geese. And Geese, lovely play. Hatfield is through. Georgetown on his outside. Here he goes. Here is the record. Georgetown scores the 17th straight game. He scores the first try in the grand final. What a remarkable achievement for Liam Georgetown. And his 31st try for the season, no less.
Yeah, an outstanding effort, but have a look at this bloke, Troy Geese. He is some sort of player, runs a perfect line to get Marty Hatfield into space. And then the right centre for the Dolphins times the pass perfectly. And the point-scoring machine, Georgetown, crashes over for Redcliffe's first try.
And now to convert. And the Redcliffe Dolphins lead by 6 points to 0. And runs in any sort of position, he runs 15 metres to score. Seamark again straightens up. He's busy all afternoon. He's offloaded to Granville. Look out, and Granville is tackled. Geese got on his back. Fayou dummy half, and again they work to the left. Quick hands, it's put down by Dalzildon. Wynnum Manly. They're a team of jugglers. Fayou's onto the ball. Jacob Fayou finally. Wynnum Manly. It's scrappy. It's not precise. It's not how they trained, but the result is a try, and it's 6-4. Completely. So hang on to your seat and your hats and whatever else you want to hang on to. It's your business in the final 3 minutes of this first half.
Good luck in the second half.
Thanks, mate.
And here's a chance for Loxley, passing for Dalzildon, floats it over the top, a juggle there from Smith. The tuber out the string section for Wynnum Manly. They've kept it going though. Torrio, Moon has scored. Jason Moon has got over for Wynnum Manly.
A skip and a jump before he steps. Well, he puts the move on. Here's the grounding. He's got that down okay. Not an issue there, but it's John Torrio who will get on the outside of the 3 defender and lay that try on for Jason Moon.
It is a try. Wynnum Manly lead by 10 points to 6. Seamark at 10-6 and has stuck it out to the right-hand side. So 4-point lead to Wynnum Manly.
Inexcusable here defensively from Redcliffe. Again, from nothing, Delzadon throws a long pass and gets out. In numbers-wise, Redcliffe have this covered, but it's just a one-on-one miss by Whitchurch and the beautiful footwork from John Torrio.
Last tackle, Wynnum Manly. Fayoud's going to bomb it again, but they haven't picked out bombed again. They've gone for Berryman, and Berryman attacks it. He's lost the ball. Torrio's got it with a skip and a jump and a pass again. Peter Gubb has scored. The Gubbmeister scores in the corner for Wynnum Manly, and John Torrio is having an afternoon here today. Someone shout the man a drink.
Is that a smile on the face of Peter Gubb? I think it is, finally. John Torrio should be smiling because this is a great piece of play.
The Torrio shuffle, here we go, step off the right. And beautiful presence of mind and awareness again to get it on to Gubb to score a try to take it out to an 8-point lead.
With 25 to go. This one looks a little better, but it's across the face. Well, it's tense, isn't it? 14-6. They're all anxious back at the Dolphins Leagues Club. The kick over the top. Here comes Bond. Bond has got it. He's found support. This bloke is on one leg. Goes Loxley. They've scored the try. What a run. In fact, Berryman, well, he has got an artificial ankle or something. How has he scored? Now he's hurt the other leg. That will do me. Redcliffe is still in the match at 14-10. Delroy Berryman. Well, they were going to amputate earlier.
Can you believe this? Capewell with the little chip. He's tried it a couple of times this afternoon for his fullback, Joe Bond, who picks it up and makes a great play to Delroy Berryman, who's got enormous amounts of speed and keeps Redcliffe in the contest. Game on, baby.
And he didn't strike it well at all. Comes down short. So that'll do. Granville, Seamark has got the pass to Dodds. Dodds has carried them over the line. Mitchell Dodds, in fact, it's a try to Charlie Gubb. It's Charlie Gubb who's gone over. The Gubb brothers have scored in the decider. Charlie Gubb has scored in a match where his brother Peter had scored earlier. And Paul Green and the bench have gone off. And so they should. Charlie Gubb, just to score a try in the grand final, was 100-1. To score the last try, you could have 500s.
1, 2. He carries him across the line, twists and turns his body, gets it down. This is just a solo effort from a big man with plenty of passion. Speaking of passion, have a look at the coach, Paul Green. They are all beside themselves, the Wynnum Manly players.
And Redcliffe won't deny him the shot. Here he goes. Carlaw boots it over. Dane Carlaw finishes his career just like Nathan Hindmarsh did for Parramatta with a goal. But the big difference here, it's in a grand final. And Wynnum Manly have outlasted Redcliffe to win 20 points to 10.
And folks, while he's here, Brendan O'Farrell will present Luke Dalziel with the Intrust Super Cup trophy for season 2012.
You don't reckon Paul Green's a happy bloke? Watch this. He's got the trophy in his hand again. The Intrust Super Cup champions. Good on you, Paul. And to John Dixon and his Redcliffe men today. So tough to handle this one.
So brave. I mean, their completion rates were horrible. Nowhere near what they've been pretty much for the entire 2012 season. But in the face of all that, they stayed brave for the best part of the match. They held their opposition to 14 points. Late try to Charlie Gubb, I know. But for the last 10 minutes, Redcliffe played with 12 men. I mean, that was just the story of this game. But Wynnum, they're a class outfit, well coached, well drilled, with a great roster. And that man there, Dane Carlaw, is going to go out a winner because his side was just too good on the day.
Mescal comes into the front row in place of Adrian Higgs.
Well, a Manly lineup is a pretty solid one too. The fullback is Colin Scott. The wingers are Terry Butler and Warren Green. In the centres, Gene Miles and Brett French. The 5'8" is Wally Lewis, and the halfback Peter Dawes. Lock forward is Brian Walsh. In the second row, it's Mal Green and Greg Dowling. And the front row is Tony Kajewski, David Green and Gary Coyne. The last time these two teams met was in the Woolies pre-season, and Souths won that match by 18 points to 11. And very, very vocal crowd out here tonight, Michael.
Yeah, it's a very good crowd too, considering we're going live to the People Bill. A marvellous crowd.
A few other pretty interesting clashes throughout the night also. Eddie Muller up against David Green in the hooking department. That's an interesting clash in itself. So the match has a lot going for it tonight, and I think we'll get plenty of action. Referee, of course, is Barry Gomersall. He's the man in charge. There he is, checking with both captains now. But a Manly coming from the northern end of the ground. There's the whistle, and away they go. Wally Lewis puts it into motion, and the ball will carry down to Gary Belcher, and Belcher up to about 20 metres out from his own line. No points on the board as yet, and 5.5 minutes remaining in the quarter. Back over to Colin Scott. Outside to Miles. Miles cutting back inside. He's over for the first try of the match. Dean Miles is in. Wynnum lead by 4-0, and Coach Des Morris pretty happy with himself.
Hard clapping it, and well he might. What a beautiful short pass, and didn't Miles run onto it? He blitzed onto it. It's Tony Scott just holding it up. And Colin Scott, sorry, not Tony. I'm about 8 years too late. And over he goes. Oh, well, you've got to forgive me. But that was a brilliant try.
Here's a head on now, and as you can see, over there to Colin Scott, outside to Gene Miles. Miles through the gap, racing away, got away from Belcher, dived up by Kellaway from behind. He did well to get there, but the big fellow was away and in for the opening try of the match.
They were controlling the ball well and doing everything with, well, a sense of purpose.
There's a conversion by Warren Green. So at 6 points to 0, Wynnum leading. It's a pass to Meninga. Meninga gets it to Lumbey. Penalty. He's offside in there. Redcliffe at Bishop Park and Souths and Valleys at Lang Park. Here's the kick for goal, and it is successful. So it's 8 points to 0. Wynnum Manly lead. 6 o'clock. Final tackle. Harry. Back over to Meninga. Over the top. Eventually to Vivas, who then puts the boot underneath it. Goes nice and high. Very high. Bounces away from Belcher. Belcher will get it though. Belcher's in for the try. Wow. I don't think Wynnum can quite believe it. But it looked as though South were in all sorts of trouble when Vivas put it up.
Well, actually, as you can see, South's nearly getting to the panic stage of passing. Beavers in all sorts of trouble, had to go back, put it up, then ran through to put them all onside, and everybody, including Wynnum Manly, just looked at it. Belcher all onside, play on, and I tell you what, that's not what Wynnum Manly's all about. That's their first disappointing lull in defence.
Here's the head on now. So high was that one that we have to wait for it to come back in a vision. There it goes now. And straight through was Belcher. Colin Scott out after him, but he's in for the try. And the ball's on its way away to the left-hand side of the uprights. So it's 8 points to 4. Wynnum Manly leading. 2 on this weekend. Final tackle. Ball rolls loose. Ripped out of his hands. Penalty Wynnum. Another chance for Warren Green.
One big difference too.
Here's the kick by Green. Successful. Another 2-pointer. So it's a lead now for Wynnum of 10 points to 4. Now Gene Miles. He's going to have a go. He's over the line. Could he get it down? I'd say he has. Gomersall in there. Awards a try. Wynnum Manly in for try number 2. And they swoop to the lead even further.
And that was powerhouse stuff. Usually we see Wally Lewis skipping in for this sort of play, but on this occasion you couldn't get a much more powerful man. And Meninga's the marker, I might add. He sees what Miles is about, and there's a flurry of players. Mr. Gomersall right on the spot, takes his time, has a little peep around before he awards the try, and a good effort from Gene Miles.
Let's have a look at it from the head on. There's Miles. Yes, there's no doubt about it. He's got it down. Domisol looked around. Brian Walsh, he had no doubt it was a try. He jumped up in the air, and now it's confirmed, and we're near it. I was fully expecting him to drop in there because we know how powerful he is close to the touchline. Conversion successful. 16 points to 4. Wynnum leading in the final of the Winfield State League. Back to who? French. French puts up the bomb. Charging through is Lindner. The ball bounces. And it's a try. Yes, Belcher, the fullback, scores the try.
And that's the most disinterested looking try I've ever seen in my life. Belcher was not real interested in doing anything about it. There weren't too many South players. He just followed it for something to follow. Have a look at this on the NEC replay.
Yes, you'll see it come back now to French. French puts it up. Lindner was flying through out after it. You can see Belcher back where he is. Boom. The ball rolled loose, and Belcher said, hello, I'll have this, and it's a try. Well.
Oh, a fair try, but a rather peculiar way to get 4 points.
Well, they're up there on that board, Mick. Here's the head-on. Can't get much of an idea who got a hand to it there. 16 to 8 is now 16 points to 10. 16 to 10 and 15 minutes.
Thinking about it, that'd fix it right up. Here it is.
Back over to Lewis. There's the drop shot at goal, and that seals it up because it's over. 17 points to 10. Field goal by Wally Lewis. Set. So into the final minute. David Green is through the gap and is over for the try. Green in for another one. Coming into full time. Here it is again.
And that was well done from Green. That's the one that put the nail in the coffin. And South, every time they play Wynnum Manly for the rest of the season, will think about that one because it wasn't luck. It was great play from Wynnum Manly, and they've sealed South's doom tonight.
There it is, Green across field and in for the try. And gives Wynnum a lead of 21 points to 10. With the kick just to come. And there's Des Morris, quite happy down there in the Wynnum Manly dugout. And here's the full-time hooter. Warren Green is yet to kick the goal. But it's all over, and full marks to Wynnum Manly. A great performance from them tonight.
So, I'm sorry, Bill. Yes, it has been. And here comes Green on his way in.
And he is going to miss that one, but it's not to worry. 21 points to 10, the full-time score. Tries for Wynnum Manly, 2 by Miles, 1 by David Green. Warren Green kicked 4 goals from 6 attempts, and Wally Lewis's field goal. 2 tries to Belcher for Southern Suburbs, and Meninga 1 goal from 3 attempts, Vivas none from 2. Canterbury man of the match.
I've given it to the hard-working Mal Green. He played well early in the match when things were tight and tough. There he is. That's what he'll be getting to. $200 worth of beautiful Canterbury gear, and he had a fine match, a real good forwards game, and he's a nice, tough customer. Fancies a tackle, but his attack tonight was rather good and rather solid as well.
And so there it is. Let's have a look at the statistics out of the match. Scrums ended up at 6-all, and the penalties narrowly Wynnum Manly way by 11 to 10. A bit of kicking going on in the match. Wynnum 21 occasions, South 18. South missed 16 tackles tonight as opposed to Wynnum's 8. That tells the story. Wynnum lost the ball on 16 occasions and South's on 13. So a pretty happy group down there of Wynnum Manly. And they've taken out the Winfield State League for 1984. Back with our NEC try of the match in just a moment. Presentation of medallions to the members of the winning team here tonight, but while we're doing that, let's have a look at the NEC try of the match coming up right now. The prize for this week is a 14-inch remote control colour TV. So here it is now, the try of the match. A lot of bit of stepping and weaving and dodging, and the man is going in for the try there is for Wynnum Manly. All you have to do is write his name on the entry form, which will be in the Daily Sun tomorrow. You could win this 14-inch remote control colour TV. And of course it's Quality Rank Arena. So that's the prize, your entry form in the Daily Sun tomorrow. So congratulations to Wynnum Manly on a good win here today.
Yes, they had a fine win. They powered Souths right out of the game. The defence was spot on, and that great attacking machine of Souths just couldn't get going.
The Winfield State League between Wynnum Manly, the defending title holders,
and Pass Brothers. Rod Morris, what's your selection for tonight?
Well, I'm going for Wynnum Manly on form. I think they have the form on the board to be able to take this game tonight. But it's going to be a very hard game. I think Brothers will be fairly fired up for this game. I'm sure Russ Broderick has some surprises for the Wynnum Manly side.
And welcome back to Lang Park. The kickoff has just been taken. Brothers running from the southern end. They're running with the breeze. Wynnum Manly running from the northern end of Lang Park. The central referee from North Queensland is Barry Gomersall. The Brothers side, only one run-on change from the programmed team, and that is Johnny Tapp comes from the reserves, and he goes into the back line, into the centres to partner Robbie Grogan, and Darren Morris has been dropped into the reserves for Brothers. Dawes. Away to Dowling. On to Wally Lewis. Through Kajewski. Picked up on the bounce by Brian Walsh. But we'll have a scrum. The pass travelled forward on the quarterway. Unintentionally forward, the ruling by Barry Gomersall. Here's the NEC replay of that pass. Let's watch it. Lewis through Kajewski. Yes, and he was on the quarterway and the pass landed in front of the quarterway. So a good indication for Barry Gomersall that the pass had gone forward. Brothers kicking on the first tackle. Shepherdson putting it deep. Kilroy chasing downfield to try and pick up Colin Scott. He has it 10 metres from his own line. Kilroy gets in, puts him to ground. Bob Linder running hard down the blind side, trying to get past Kilroy. A lovely pass around the corner for Warren Green. He gets away from Tim Dwyer. They won't stop him. Warren Green goes in to score try number 1. Put it down to Bob Linder, who started it with that magnificent break down the blind side of the ruck. Warren Green scores the first points of the Winfield State League final. Lovely pass by Linder as he was taken by Kilroy around the corner to Warren Green. He got away from the diving Tim Dwyer and in to score.
Yes, Bob Linder's certainly in good form. This just shows his speed here and his ability to unload the pass around the corner as well. As you can see, around the back of Joey Kilroy to Warren Green. And Warren Green has the pace to come on with it and score a good try. Up until that stage, neither team really had control of this game. But Wynnum Manly now, I think, will settle down a little bit, and I'm sure Brothers will come back.
When these two sides last met, it was in the Woolies final, in fact, and Warren Green kicked 6 out of 6 that day. Well, he started well tonight. No mistake about that kick. And Wynnum Manly lead by 6 points to 0 with a minute and a half remaining until quarter time. David Green is the acting halfback. Back to Lewis. He'll attempt a field goal. And no goal. Waved away. So at quarter time, in the Winfield State League final at Lang Park, it's Wynnum Manly 6, leading Brothers 0, and we'll return after this break. Fried chicken profile of Bob Linder made his debut 2 seasons ago with Souths. He played for the Australian Independent Schoolboys before he went over to Souths to start his A-grade career. 2 years with Souths, in which he played for Brisbane and Queensland, and this season he moved down to Cougarai Oval to link up with Wynnum Manly. He's a great player, Bob Linder. He perhaps had a slower start to this season, but as he said himself, he felt that it was probably harder to impress when you're in such a great lineup as Wynnum Manly, and he's now just starting to find his feet. And to make that vital break, here's our Kentucky Fried Chicken profile of Joe Kilroy. He made his A-grade debut back with Norths in 1979, and in fact in 1980 he was the key player in North's upset premiership win over Souths, and who'll ever forget that sensational try he set up. He started back in his own line just after half-time, and it was Brian Bird, I think from memory, who finished it off, a try that perhaps won Norths the final. It was a great year for him, 1980. He was the Colt of the Year, and he was the runner-up that year in the Rothmans gold medal. He's been over at Brothers for a couple of seasons, has represented Brisbane and Queensland, and who knows, could be in the Queensland side, which we'll be announcing for the State of Origin at full time of tonight's telecast. From the line, tackle by Dowling. Dan Staines, the Brothers lock forward, charging towards the line. Ball went backwards, picked up by Trevor Bailey. Bailey trying to burrow his way over. Lost the ball, though, says referee Barry Gomersall. Dwyer. David Green from dummy half. Back to Lewis. Then it goes to Dawes. He'll throw it wide for Britt French. French gives it away to Linder. He chips ahead over the top of Johnny Tapp into the in-goal area and knocked dead by Johnny Tapp. Lewis will use the kick. Into the air it goes. A high bomb. Tim Dwyer waits for it. Up he goes for it, can't take it cleanly. Dawes will claim it, Wynnum Manly ball. You're watching the NEC Big Game live from Lang Park, and here's a penalty going to Wynnum Manly. Brothers not allowing the player to play the ball immediately. Warren Green's kick is up and over. Wynnum go to a lead of 8 points to 0. Allow Wynnum Manly to mount their attack, and this is Linder running back across the ruck and running hard. Bob Linder, a lovely pass out to Ian French. French trying to cut back infield away to Terry Butler. Oh, that's as good a try as you'll see. That could be the try to wrap up the Winfield State League final. And a lot of that work done initially by Greg Dowling, just taking that settling tackle to allow Wynnum Manly to mount their defence, and as they run that angle so well. And there's Bob Linder coming back across the ruck onto Ian French, crashing through the brothers' tacklers and inside to Terry Butler, backing up brilliantly. Wynnum Manly in to score a try that takes them to a lead of 12-0 with the kick to come.
Well, once again, it's Bob Linder that makes the run and feeds the ball out to Ian French. You can see Ian French's strength here. He just busts back inside these two defenders and pass the ball back inside to Terry Butler. Always there for Terry Butler, always backing up on the inside, always in the right place at the right time, and just going around for a nice try. But I was just thinking before that, the brothers are doing a very good job holding Wynnum Manly out. And if they could have got to the end of the third quarter and Wynnum Manly not scoring any tries, they may have gave them a chance in the fourth quarter.
Plenty of time about this kick. Back pushes it wide, unlike Warren Green to miss one from such a position. So Wynnum Manly lead brothers by 12 points to 0, trying to burrow his way over. Bob Linder goes in to be the dummy half to Lewis, holds the pass up for Mel Green. Back to Ian French, then to Lewis. There's a gap out wide. Ball goes away to Brad Morgan, then on to Warren Green. He's in to score. The gap was always out wide. Wally Lewis knew it. It was just a matter of pushing it out as quickly as they possibly could. Warren Green scores the try that certainly wraps up the Winfield State League final. Here it is again. Lewis, anxious to get it out wide, gives the pass over to Brad Morgan. He quickly got rid of it to Warren Green, and he's in to score in the corner.
It certainly shows the strength of Wally Lewis here. He's caught in the tackle and is still able to unload the pass and throw a long pass over the top to Brad Morgan. And Brad Morgan just passes the ball on to Warren Green.
Claimed to get rid of that pass and push it out wide as quickly as he could. Warren Green's kick is just wide, no goal. Wynnum Manly lead brothers by 16 points to 0. Howling away to Lewis, to Brad Morgan. Dummy half is Bob Linder. Tackled immediately inside the last 10 seconds as the crowd starts the countdown. David Green gives it away to Greg Dowling. Up the centre of the ruck he goes, as he's done all night, Greg Dowling, and there's the hooter. It's all over. Congratulations to Wynnum Manly and their coach Des Morris on a superb win tonight. A tremendous example it was of rugby league from a great side. Superb attack and a defence that was able to keep brothers scoreless. They're a tremendous side, Wynnum Manly. They're one of the best in Australia, if not the best in Australia. And tonight, convincing winners of the Winfield State League, defeating brothers by 16 points to 0. They take away the $12,000 as the winners of the Winfield State League for the second year in a row. And brothers, the losers, take $4,000. The full-time score, Wynnum Manly 16, defeating brothers 0. We'll take this break and then come back to announce our man of the match, our city and country player of the series, and also the Queensland team for the first State of Origin match for this year. So Wynnum Manly, the winners of the Winfield State League final by 16 points to 0. For Wynnum, 2 tries to Warren Green and a try to Terry Butler. Warren Green kicked 2 from 5, and brothers held scoreless. The scrums favoured Wynnum Manly by 8-7. The tight heads went to Wynnum by 3-0. And the penalties to Wynnum Manly by 14-6. Scrum penalties favoured Wynnum Manly by 3-2.
From dummy half goes Gene Miles, trying to crash his way over after his superb game here against Ipswich on Sunday. Dummy half is Lewis. He'll go through himself. He's over. He's the master of play like that, Wally Lewis. No doubt about him, when it's close to the line, Lewis was in quickly to make sure there was a quick play of the ball. There was only the slightest of gaps, but through it he went. He's an absolute genius at that sort of play, Wally Lewis. No hope of stopping him, and Wynnum Manly score the first try. Here's the NEC replay from behind.
That's what makes the man such a great play. He's read that play, and not too many other footballers in the game would have done that. Charles now 6 points to 2.
Colin Scott converts, and Wynnum Manly lead Redcliffe in the Winfield State League final by 6 points to 2. But wrapped up by the defence. Brian Naylor's there to stop him. The last coming up for Redcliffe. Back to Duncan Weir. He puts in the little kick just across the face of goal. Biles up for it. He can't take it. It's going to be a try. Michael Webb's in to score. Funnel Webb scores underneath the post.
And Duncan Weir, this is a super kick. I was about to say earlier in the game that Redcliffe would miss Wally Fullerton-Smith with his hit power, but they'll miss that all right, but they won't lose a lot in Duncan Weir. They make up for it in other areas. He's got a superb short kicking game, and there's going to be a 6-pointer as a direct result of it.
There's the kick, the conversion by Trevor Benson. Redcliffe lead by 8-6. Last coming up for the Seagulls. Miles is the acting halfback, and he'll run himself from there and pops a super pass to Greg Dowling. Oh, great football. Tell you what, mightn't be far off saying that Gene Miles could be picked as a second rower, because that would be absolutely super play that any second rower would be proud of. Swinging across the face of goal, in fact, just flicks the upright and goes away. No goal, and Wynnum Manly lead Redcliffe in the Winfield State League final by 10 points to 8. Wally Lewis to Miles. Trying to crash his way through. Super pass to Colin Scott. Then another good one to Ian French, and away it goes to Brian Naylor. Oh, great football by Wynnum Manly, and Brian Naylor goes in to score. Oh, you won't see some better passes than those. Absolutely freakish passes by Wynnum Manly, and only great players can pull off football like that in big games. Superb football. It might look easy, but I tell you what, it's damn hard to do.
It's reserved for champions, and there's a couple there. A super pass from Miles to French. French does all the right work and gets it to Naylor, who goes in and scores the try. But that's super passing under pressure, and you've got to be a class footballer to even think about doing that, let alone do it properly.
Tell you what, if Gene Miles pulls a couple of those off next Tuesday night, there won't be much left of the Frankfurt grandstand, I wouldn't think.
No,
what a great pass.
Look at this. Well, actually to Scotty, and a superb pass from Scott to Ian French. And that's where Ian French is at his best, when he can get a bit of room to move. And he did all he had to do with the ball. And this man, we mentioned on Sunday, he's an underrated member of the football team.
14-8 it is. Here's the kick on its way from Colin Scott. No goal. Waved away. Wynnum Manly lead Redcliffe. 9.5 minutes short of half-time by 14 points to 8. Lewis. Miles again. To Colin Scott once more. They're working brilliantly together. Then to Scott. Lewis has to juggle the pass. Now gives it back to Ian French, heading for the post. He's in again. Colin Scott and Gene Miles, they're unstoppable tonight. Redcliffe simply can't contain the two Queensland players. And underneath the post, and that, even at this stage, could be the try to wrap it up for Wynnum Manly. Here's the NEC replay.
The pass was forward, but it's a good piece of football. And again, Gene Miles was the guy that took the Redcliffe defence out of the play by just shuffling across the field. Here we see a Shepherd. But Colin Scott, one of the best players in the game, with his ability to run into a hole.
All of the Winfield State League final, with still 2.5 minutes remaining until half-time. Tackle count restarts. And this will be a penalty to Redcliffe. Indiscriminate kicking by Wynnum Manly. Flags are up. It's there, and the half-time score in the Winfield State League final is Wynnum Manly 20, leading Redcliffe 10. And in. Well, that's how quickly they can do it, Wynnum Manly. From near touch, and it's just short. No goal. So Wynnum Manly lead Redcliffe in the Winfield State League final by 24 points to 10. It's coming up for Redcliffe. To Murray again. Mel Green gets through just to try and put the kick down. Picked up quickly and given away to Gene Miles. Miles sprinting into the open. They won't stop him. It's Gene Miles first, Daylight second. Wynnum Manly are in to score, and they lead by 28 points to 10. I tell you what, have a look at the replay of this try on the NEC replay, and you'll see that Mel Green has a lot to do with this. The way he comes up on Mark Murray and didn't allow Murray to get the kick away properly, and Dawes snapped it up, and that was shut the gate.
Yeah, put it down to Mel Green, really. He's the captain of the defensive side for Wynnum Manly. He leads the way, and he's put a lot of pressure on the field kicker there, Mark Murray. And he just didn't have time to get the kick.
League than the big Gene Miles in full flight. Colin Scott converts. It's 30 points to 10.
Went up that right arm of his. You know, if you can get a chance to get over the top at him, you've just got to wrap up the right arm, otherwise he'll offload with that hand.
Peter Dawes getting his pass away to Brian Naylor. Naylor feeds it back on the inside to Peter Dawes once more, backing up. Little Peter Dawes backing up a la Terry Lamb style, and here it is again on the NEC replay.
But it's all Dawes. Dawes is involved here in another pass. You see him, he puts Naylor through the hole. Basketball-style pass. Good play from him here. You can see him. He's urging him on. Backs up on the inside and takes the pass to go across and score. And he's an aggressive little man, this fella. Not only does he come up with some big hits in defence, but he calls some shots around the centre of the ruck area.
It's the upright back into the field of play. No goal. 34 to 10 it is. Before he reaches the quarter line.
The little man Ferrugi, of course, has got to take a lot of reps. Here we go for another try.
Peter Sinclair going straight through a gap. He's got support if he needs it. Fires it back on the inside and they're going to score. Gene Miles touches down for Wynnum Manly, and that's try number 8. It looked for a moment as if Peter Sinclair had blown it. There was support on the outside. He elected to run himself, and there's a delighted Wally Lewis.
From Wally, and it's pleasing to see the big smile on Wally's face. No doubt Wally knows he's going to be away for interstate and Australian commitments, but he's got a very good young deputy in this fella. And if he listens to what Lewis has got to tell him, he can go right on with the job. And there's Gene Miles again. He just can't stop it well.
Greg Anders just sneaks that kick over as we go back to the replay of Gene Miles touching down for that try. Greg Anders converts, and Wynnum Manly have reached 40. They lead by 40 points to 10.
The Lewis, Miles, Scotts and so on. Well, the Queensland Rugby League's in a very healthy state.
Oh, some bad defence now, though, by Redcliffe. And a lovely pass from Daryl Jenner. Back for Peter Dawes, and he'll sprint away under the post. Jenner just strode through some non-existent defence. Here it comes again. Jenner dummies. Straight past Greg Canescu.
And Mark Murray.
And Mark Murray. Peter Dawes backing up. And away goes Peter Dawes to score untouched under the pin. This time Greg Anders gets it over with a little more ease. Wynnum Manly 46. Redcliffe 10. Petrie distributes back to Miles. Elects to run it himself. That one-handed pass around the corner to Colin Scott. It's where he had a golf ball in his hand. Back to Scott Lewis. Dawes is there again. This time he puts it on the deck. And it goes into touch as the hooter sounds for full time, and Wynnum Manly have retained their title as the Winfield State League champions with a resounding victory over Redcliffe. A thoroughly professional performance by Wynnum Manly, and for their stars, a great warm-up for the State of Origin next week. Wynnum Manly down Redcliffe by 46 points to 10 here at Lang Park.
So the full-time score in the Winfield State League, Wynnum Manly defeating Redcliffe by 46 points to 10. Let's have a look at the breakdown of the scoring. And Wynnum Manly tonight ran in 9 tries. Wally Lewis, Greg Dowling, Brian Naylor, Ian French, Bob Lindner, with Gene Miles and Peter Dawes 2 apiece. For Redcliffe, their try scorer was Michael Webb. The goal kicking, Scott 3 from 7, Anders 2 from 2. For Redcliffe, Trevor Benson 3 out of 3.
season.
Near capacity gate of about 35,000 people, a very warm, fairly still afternoon. We'd think the temperature to be about 25 or 26 degrees.
Thanks, Arthur. We've got a replay here of last year's grand final, of course, and that was when Wynnum Manly thrashed South 42 points to 8. I don't see that happening this afternoon, though. South's a much improved side, and Wynnum Manly not in the same form they were in 1984. South, on the other hand, different kettle of fish. They played particularly well this season. They won 10 out of their last 11 matches, so their form is really first class. And I think the Magpies, if they can control possession, and that's so important, you must keep the ball away from Wynnum Manly. They're too good in attack, and you must control possession if they're going to beat them this afternoon. We've got a replay of last year's grand final, 42-8, Wynnum Manly won it. Is this side a better side that you got this year than the one last year?
It's a better team, David.
Have you learned anything from last year, and what in particular have you learned from that one match?
Oh, yeah, I learned quite a few things. I suppose that the most important thing I learned is that you have to have players that maybe not as flashy as some other players, but they play with a fair bit of determination and courage for the 80 minutes.
Thanks, Wayne, and good luck today.
Thanks, David.
And there we are, a sign there saying farewell and best of luck to Mal Meninga. And of course, Mal Meninga has signed with the Canberra Raiders for next season, and this will be the last time he plays for South here at the Lang Park Stadium. Well, there they are, the Magpies taking the field, and all eyes on the tunnel now to see whether big Mal Meninga will come out for South. Under a severe injury cloud prior to the match. There he is, the big fella, and he comes onto the field. Of course, he's had injections in that knee, and good news for the Magpies that Mal Meninga is able to take the field in his grand finals, the last grand final he'll play. They're the Wynnum Manly side as they take the field, captained by David Green. There's been an injury cloud over three of the players. Colin Scott, Gene Miles and David Green himself, the captain, have been on injury clouds during the week, but they've all come through it okay.
So it's Wally Lewis to start play in the 1985 grand final. A very deep kick as it goes well down to Belcher. And South fullback 10 metres out from his own line. And the first mistake by Wynnum Manly.
Lewis in great cover defence to fix up his own mistake.
Can kick through in the play of the ball, and it runs into touch. Penalty.
Yes, you're not allowed to kick, and Wally Lewis querying that. The rule states the ball must be on the ground. So's David Green querying it.
Gary French attempting to put first points on the board. It's a pretty good attempt too. And the flags are up. The Magpies go to an early lead of 2 points to 0.
That's just the sort of tonic that South would have been looking for.
Cross to French, out wide to Meninga. Meninga sends that pass to John Elias, the second rower standing there. Back a bit risky, that pass picked up by Meninga. Meninga. Oh, look at that. Players bouncing from players off there.
I think Big Mal's fair dinkum today.
Hooker's pass across to the 5'8" French. There's Meninga. And starts to get going, Meninga. Look at Meninga tripping, getting over that area. Sends his pass, goes astray, picked up by Wallace. And Wallace has it for South still. Almost lost it for a moment. Also Meskel in there, the front row forward. Flicks across the doors to Lewis. A longer pass out wide to Brett French in the centres. Gets away from Meninga, gets around Meninga, over the halfway mark. Brett French kicking ahead, and the chase is on. The bounce favouring Wynnum Manly. Brett French gets it eventually, and almost there. Butler, how close did Butler go to plucking it out of the air? But French picking it up eventually. The bounce favouring Wynnum Manly. The luck of the game, it's a penalty to Wynnum Manly, being held down by Souths. All the scores, he's got a 64% record this season, and there it goes. The flags are up, and it's 2-2 after close to 14 minutes of play. Eddie Muller, the hookers, there to distribute. French, Tronk, the second row forward. Peter Jackson in the centres, and found the gap there between Dowling and another player up there. And a good run from Peter Jackson. Good run indeed. Wynnum Manly defence held off there. It's a penalty too against David Green.
Craig Ferrugia, I think it was, after who was playing back at fullback with Colin Scott getting attention on the sideline. Let's have a look at it. That's a great tackle there from Ferrugia.
Very even match so far.
Yeah, nothing in it.
French kick, there it goes. And it's there. So the Magpies hit the front again, leading by 4 points to 2. Muller. And switch back to Jackson on that blind side. Peter Jackson tries to get he does get his pass away to the fullback up there. Fullback gets his, yes, he broke away from that tackle, Belcher. Belcher did very well then. He was stopped several times, it seemed, but now with great determination and strength, he's 30 metres out to win a Manly line. Cullen's pass out to French. French sends it on to Elias. Elias starting to move now, running strongly. Look at John Elias over the quarter line. The pass comes back inside now to Norm Carr. Gets up off the ground. Carr, can he keep going? And he got the ball down. Norm Carr, yes he did. It's a try to Norm Carr, and the Magpies lead by 8 points to 2.
Great try from South. It first came from a great break down that right-hand side with Belcher chiming in beautifully to go a long way downfield. Wynnum had never recovered, and then South got the ball back out along their back line. I thought John Elias maybe had picked the wrong time to run, but he really accelerated. Elias has read this game so well. Here it is again. This is where it comes back along the left. Have a look at this. That's Elias deciding to straighten up. Wynnum had plenty of defenders. He goes straight through the middle of them. Peter Dawes missed him. So did Greg Dillon. Beautiful pass back on the inside to Norm Carr. Norm Carr had Gary French there in support. Gary French throws his hands up. Norm Carr not held, and he reaches out and just gets it on the line for a great Magpies try. Here it is again from the head on. There's Norm Carr struggling toward the line. Terry Butler just not quite strong enough to hold him out, and David Manson in perfect position to award it.
Gary French's kick. And the flags are up, and the Magpies go to a lead of 10 points to 2. That's a pretty handy lead with just 7 minutes before half-time. 5 minutes before half-time, Souths are leading 10 points to 2.
Mick Beavers there in centre screen with his new curly haircut.
Long kick over halfway. Good long kick from Belcher. And it's running well over the quarter line. An excellent kick from Belcher. And Scott right back near his own try lines to score points before half-time as Wally Lewis puts up the bomb. Fullback Belcher's underneath it, and Belcher takes it, and very well done. Belcher gets away from a lot of them. Good probably for the first time in the match, starting to look really good. Here comes Coyne. Coyne sending it back now onto Adam. Adams charging through, get the ball down, turning in the tackle, can't get it down. Yes, he's got the ball down. Adams has scored for Wynnum Manly, and the first try has been scored by the Seagulls. Souths are leading by 10 points to 6.
Boy, have we got a game on our hands. You could see it coming though. Wynnum Manly stringing the passes together. It was a beauty to put Ian French away. A couple of tackles previous to that. Souths, after this whole match, have had their defence hardly breached. They've always been in a position to contain them. After this, they were a little bit at 6s and 7s. Where's the straight line? They're a little bit lost for a straight line here. Gary Coyne gets it back to Craig Adams. Look at the determination on this young fellow. Replace Craig Perugia. Ken Gittins gets a hold of him. Gets caught down just before, certainly not a double movement. Reaches around, spins around, and gets it right down on the line.
Would take the Seagulls, Wynnum Manly within 2 points of South. There it goes. It's raised the flags. And so it's an open game again. Looks like a cliffhanger. 2 points. South leading Wynnum Manly by 10 points to 8. Inside the last minute now as it comes to Wally Lewis, sends it on to Brett French, and wow, he was wrapped up in a sandwich tackle between Meskel and Peter Jackson. David Green, the captain, is there, just outside South quarter line. There's Wally Lewis, sends the pass to Miles, he's looking for him, but the ball has been knocked down. Fight for possession, South ball, knocked on. And so a scrum.
Wynnum Manly loose head and feed should win it. Brett French getting attention. Against the head. South have got the ball, and that should be the ball game.
Yes, it should be the grand final to Souths now. 22 metres out in their own line, in possession. Up there is Chris Phelan's in the dummy half position. Chris having his last game, and wouldn't he love to go out with the grand final? There's the countdown now. Chris Phelan certainly would wait. And Souths have sunk the Seagulls. The Magpies Souths have really shot down the Seagulls.
Yep, and look at the elation. There it is, I think. Souths really wanted to win that one. They tried so hard over so many years, haven't been able to do it. They wanted it more than Wynnum Manly today. They played some of the best football, finals football, some of the most controlled final football that we've seen here for a long time. Defence was magnificent. Wynnum Manly threw everything at them, but it was the defence around the forward pack. Norm Curran, brilliant cover defence. Look at Wayne Bennett. Congratulations, Wayne.
Certainly a fantastic grand final, a real cliffhanger, with Souths running out winners by 10 points to 8, only one try to each team. So a great day out for the Magpies, winning 3 of the 4 grand finals here today. They thoroughly deserved their victory in this major grand final, and congratulations to them, and congratulations to Wynnum Manly too for a really top performance. Souths winning the grand final by 10 points to 8. Thanks very much for being with us.
this afternoon on Channel 9 for what is the perfect setting to round out the 2019 season. Good afternoon and thank you for joining us on Nine's live coverage of the Intrust Super Cup Grand Final. Now, both these teams, the Burleigh Bears and the Wynnum Manly Seagulls, have faced each other in the finals already. It was the Burleigh Bears who were victorious that day. It gave them the week off and it forced the Wynnum Manly Seagulls to take the long road to here today to the grand final here at Redcliffe Stadium, Dolphin Stadium. Such a great setting we have here this afternoon. Team lineup for the grand final. The big one today is Ednei Gebby at fullback. His matchup with Curtis Rowe, a highlight here this afternoon. Burns and Poundra on the wings. Hoyter and Drew in the centres. Templeman and Scarlett, a big reason why they're here today. Kel Tate comes in for the suspended Max Elliott. Pulasia and Alex Barr in the back row with Rockley, Grote and their skipper has had a terrific season. Mitch Cronin is in the number 9 jersey. Now their coach is Adam Bright, well coached by Jim. And their team lineup, Curtis Rowe at fullback, Tyrone Roberts-Davis and the experience of Anthony Don on the wings. Sammy Saluma and Josh Burgers in the centres with Dylan Pythian and Jamal Fogarty in the halves. And a hard-working forward pack. Sam Costa at lock with the Schwass and Leary in the back row. Page is the skipper with Politoni and Jack Buchanan. And their coach is Jimmy Lenihan.
Just waiting for the Intrust Super Cup to get off the ground. Colin Scott showed it to the chook pen. Now Ali Brown to the Burleigh supporters. Which group of fans will be celebrating in around an hour and a half, hour and 20 from now? We're underway, the 2019 Intrust Super Cup Grand Final. It is Wynnum who've let the ball bounce over the dead ball line. Goal line dropout. What a mistake from Junior Paanga.
One or two places in as Luke Page takes the first hitter.
Strong run, 20 metres out. Best opportunity, another penalty.
Okay, wait, Paddy's in front of you. Way too slow.
There are the first points of the grand final. Burleigh lead 2-0. Politoni go to the eastern side. Rowe. Now Leary into space and an unmarked Tyrone Roberts-Davis on the outside gets the first try of the 2019 Intrust Super Cup Grand Final. In my opinion, so therefore it should be play on. Yep. So Wynnum came in on the decoy runner. That should be a try.
It is a try.
Liam, this is the video referee. Will confirm the on-field decision of try.
First try of the grand final. Burleigh lead by 6 points to 0. Is it coming back? Is it coming back? It hits the upright. That could be a big miss in the earlier grades. Fogarty gets away from the chase. Little kick for himself. Where's the support? It arrives in Rowe and Rowe will score. They got in each other's way, the defenders from Wynnum, and Curtis Rowe back on the inside after Jamal Fogarty. A little kick for himself, and Burleigh will lead by 10.
Oh, the creativity of the Petro Civitanova medalist Jamal Fogarty. He injects himself into the game at the perfect time.
And it's a terrific bit of work from both players.
Just catching the ball. Before the ball even gets it to him, he changes his direction to get on the outside of the defender. And that's what held off the other defence. Templeman's sitting there going, well, do I go in, do I stay out? I'm not quite sure. But he sized up the situation beautifully, Tatey, and again, it's about combination.
There's a further 2 points, and it is 12 points to 0. Beryl, Scarlett kicking, awkward bounce. It's off the head, I think, and Scarlett, the kicker, has come through and scored the try. It's bounced off a Burleigh head, I think it was. Went backwards to Wynnum, and we're going to check.
Yep. Clayton tackle 0. Have a try. Please confirm contest through to grounding.
Well, it's an opportunist try, isn't it? Through Sam Scarlett. Again, they're not getting any momentum, Wynnum. We see him go down the short side, put a little one through, and it comes off.
Just kicks off at the last minute, doesn't it?
Someone get a hand on it there?
It looks like someone gets a hand to it. Is it a Burleigh hand?
That's a try for mine.
Yeah, it comes off a Burleigh player. Gets the perfect bounce, doesn't he, Sammy Scarlett? Kicks off there. Yeah, it is Tyrone Roberts-Davis. And great work from Scarlett to continue to have the presence of mind to push through. He just bobbled it too. I think he regains it. but they really flooded the short side, didn't they? There was 5 on 3 down there. Yeah, no problems whatsoever. They had to answer back. That's the one-on-one.
A really tough kick for goal.
Cronin. Templeman. Crossfield kick from unmarked Burns, who scores in the corner. Great vision, Sam Scarlett and Edward Burns. It seemed like he had to wait an eternity, and the ball finally got there, and Wynnum gets it second.
Best set of 6 they've had, Wynnum Manly, and it's because he's getting out of dummy half, changing some angles with his big forwards, and they're getting some momentum in their play the balls. The craft that he's playing with is outstanding.
It's not a bad strike. It's a very good strike. Back to a 2-point game. Last tackle. Pythian. Good. Into the in-goal area. The bounce important. That's a beauty for Curtis Rowe. He's got himself a double. Wynnum went to sleep and Burley bites back. 16-10 with a kick to come.
Jamal Fogarty was the man that was going to finish the set off. But it sits up beautifully. Yeah, as you said, Junior Power could have turned and at least got into the way of the chasers. He was never going to get to the ball, but
it's not a bad strike. Oh, just to the left. He hit it really well.
Go 3.
Polatoni out of acting half. They went to sleep and he scores the try. They went to sleep, Wynnum, and Pat Polatoni has scored the try that may win the game and the grand final for Burley.
Of nature, he sells it to the left with his feet and his eyes, doesn't he? Gebby's just a little bit too late, but he gets in between the big forwards. Tremendous work by the hooker.
Team making the right decisions.
Well, there is the extra 2 from Jamal Fogarty down at the touchline. Adam Jackson. Got to get a repeat set at worst. Templeman kicking straight into the hands of Fogarty. Away he goes. They won't catch him. And Burley are racing away to a premiership. Jamal Fogarty, the Petro Sivanasiva medalist for the best player in the Intrust Super Cup, ices it for the Burley Bears, who will win the title. Jamal Fogarty gets the try.
They try and put the grubber through. Fogarty pounces on the ball and just uses fantastic speed. Look, there goes Jimmy Lenahan. He's riding him home up the straight. Celebrates to the Burley Bears fans that have turned out here. And the Burley Bears win their second premiership in the last 3 seasons.
Beaten by a better side today. Tyrone Roberts-Davis from almost in front adds a further 2, 28 points to 10.
It's really not a true reflection of the game, is it? It has been so tight throughout the 80 minutes. The Burley Bears, they'll travel to NRL Grand Final Day next Sunday. It's one of the lead-up matches to the main game between the Raiders and the Roosters. And at the moment in New South Wales, it's gone into extra time, 14 all.
Cronin with a late tackle. And a few players not happy about it. We're going to be joined by players. The touch judge trying to keep the Burley players off the ground. We want to see the game end, but full time, and Burley celebrate a premiership. Burley 28 defeated Wynnum 10. The Intrust Super Cup premiers for 2019, the Burley Bears.
He started the festivities.
There we go, the Burley Bears. Great victory here this afternoon.
The last
last game of the season, the Intrust Super Cup Grand Final at Moreton Daily Stadium. The Norse Devils taking on the Wynnum Manly Seagulls. The highlights thanks to Super Cheap Auto.
21 Intrust Super Cup Grand Final. This will be a game this afternoon.
First blood going to the Devils in just the 7th minute. Levea Pulu crossing.
Good quick hands away, and is it going to be a try? It is! Levea Pulu with the try for the Devils. Well worked. Merrill goes short in a great ball. Bateman into the open. Good tackle, Jacker Hearn.
It was a tight and torrid affair. Tyrone Roberts next to score for Norse as they extended their lead. He crossed with 9 minutes left in the first half.
Danny Levi goes to Tyrone Roberts. Tyrone Roberts through the dummy. Showed a fair bit of strength and scores the Devils' second try of the afternoon.
Then the Seagulls scored with 3 minutes left in the first half. Teenage sensation Selwyn Cobbo with this 4-pointer.
Cobbo! Beautiful footwork! And Cobbo with the try.
At the break, the Devils were in front 10 points to 6. There was absolutely nothing between the two teams, and we were all locked up at 10 points all when David Mead crossed for the Seagulls with 14 minutes left in the contest.
Long pass out wide for the corner. They're in through David Mead. David Mead has scored a try to level the Intrust Super Cup Grand Final.
Then into the 73rd minute, this try from Michael Molo to seal the win for the Devils.
He takes it. Look out if he gets away. Movement down the touchline. Passing Fields. Still alive. Broadhurst with a kick. They kept it alive. And North through Michael Molo. Almost a full set of 6 in front of them. It's with Sam Scarlett. He's going to be tackled. Which way do they go on the last? Combos to the right. They go to Scarlett. Sam Scarlett with a kick. TC Lavani couldn't get there. Bennett dead. And they won't have time for the dropout. Norths are going to win the Intrust Super Cup. 5 seconds left. They're celebrating. Take a bow, both teams. Siren sounds, full time. And the Intrust Super Cup Premiership is going to Bishop Park. Norse fans, the wait is over. Well done to Wynnum Manly. Both teams putting on a great show.
Premiership success for the Norse Devils, defeating the Wynnum Manly Seagulls 16 points to 10 in an instant classic. A great grand final and a terrific season. Peter Basoldis, Queensland Rugby League.